Hey everyone, what's up? It's me, lo-fi musician and producer, Blue Sirens. Today, I want to talk to you about one of my favorite documentaries about music, a rockumentary, if you will, and that is called It Might Get Loud. And I've seen this movie numerous times throughout the years, and I decided to watch it recently, and I wanted to share the 3 biggest lessons I've learned from this movie. And if you haven't heard of the movie, if you haven't seen it, Jack White from the White Stripes, the Raconteurs, the Dead Weather, The Edge from U2, and Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin all get together with each other and they share their thoughts about music, the guitar. They also share inspiration, how they got started in music, and some of their creative process. It's a really motivational movie. It's pretty inspiring. It will make you want to pick up a guitar and start playing. Or if you play a different instrument, it's probably going to make you want to get better at your craft and overall just feel inspired to write and create more music. So, without further ado, let's dive in and let's talk about the 3 biggest things that I learned from watching this movie recently. And I'm going to pull a lesson from each member that was in this movie, The Edge, Jack White, and Jimmy Page. And the first person I want to start with is Jack White and the White Stripes are known for notoriously being simple. They just want to get it fit to you quick, fast, and just be 1, 2, 3, that's it. Pretty simple. And that's pretty much what I think Jack White's main advice throughout this movie is that you can be simple, but you just got to find a way to get away with it. And that's the struggle. How are we going to make the same 4 chords sound good or different or better than someone else out there? How are we going to get away with it? And there's nothing wrong with being simple. And you can make great music just by being simple, but the key is, how are you getting away with it? And in the movie, he goes on and talks about how he got away with it by kind of having like this childish act and really focusing on that simplicity aspect of it, maybe a little bit too much, in the White Stripes. And he really gets away with it quite a bit. There are some albums the White Stripes have that have no guitar solos. There are some that are, every song is below like 2 minutes. So they can get away with it, and they do in a unique way as a band. But that lesson of, how are we going to keep it simple, but how are we going to get away with it? Because it's a struggle. How are we embracing that struggle and fighting that fight to be able to make something unique that's simple, where it uses the same chords that everyone else uses, to make something that's uniquely ours? It's tough, but I think Jack White does a really good job of articulating that struggle and how you can kind of fight it throughout some of the other advice he gives in the movie to make it your own. So, check out more of it, see what Jack White has to say about that. But overall, that's definitely a struggle I think I can relate to, and most musicians can relate to. Because there's oftentimes I'm writing something, I'm like, that sounds terrible. But really, it's just not what I think it is yet. And I need to either find the chords for what I really am wanting to write, but I can't find out what those are yet. But, keep it simple, and it'll probably find its way out on its own. And that leads me to the second piece of advice, which is from The Edge from U2. There's a really great scene in the movie where The Edge describes when you're driving through a arranged forest, like a forest that you've grown and you've kept, and it's a maintained forest by someone. When you drive through it, all the trees are blurry, all the leaves are blurry, and it doesn't look like there's a way out. It just looks like a blur of leaves and branches. But if you can stop, if you can pause, you can see all the trees are in perfect rows, and you can walk straight down those rows and see things that you didn't see before because maybe you were just moving too fast. And so with The Edge, I think his piece of advice is really, be calm. If it's not working out with how you're writing right now, it's okay. Take a pause, take a break, and try and find a different perspective. Something that you've been working on for so long, or you're getting frustrated with, maybe you need a different approach or a different perspective to understand what needs to happen next, or what needs to happen with those chords, or what needs to happen to fill in the space that you still have in your songs. This happens to me quite a bit. Sometimes I feel like I rush on releasing songs. I try to release a song every 2 weeks. But sometimes right before that song is released, I'll take a listen to it and I'll think, I should have added X, Y, and Z. I can definitely hear that now. So sometimes maybe slowing down. Maybe I need to slow down some of my releases, or write so many songs at one point in time that I have enough time between each release that I can give it a week to breathe and then come back and see what needs to be changed. Maybe that's something that you could practice too. I definitely recommend getting feedback during that week process time. Don't listen to the song at all. Just maybe get 4 or 5 pieces of feedback, listen to the song, take a look at the feedback, and see how it is. But ultimately, the song is for you. So if you're happy with the song, then don't worry about what other people think or what they say. It's great if everyone likes the song and gives you feedback too, but some people are gonna not like it, and that's totally fine, because if everyone likes your music, maybe you're not doing something right. Overall though, take time when you're writing that song, pause, get a different perspective, see the arranged forest, and get that clarity between each row so that you know what you're missing or what you really enjoy from the song. And the last lesson that I'd want to highlight that I gained recently from watching It Might Get Loud is from Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page, an extremely talented guitarist, started playing when he was really young, and several great rock bands he was a member of, leading up to being in Led Zeppelin, and obviously he's like a rock hero. But the best piece of advice I think Jimmy Page gave is one that I don't think he thinks is advice, but really is just almost a pressure or a compulsion that you need to be writing, that you need to be working on your craft. Because it's like the last line of the movie, he says, "We all fear the day where we can't pick up the guitar anymore to be able to play." And earlier in the movie, he says his biggest fear is that he picks up the guitar and he can't be creative. Nothing new comes out of him when he's playing the guitar. Nothing is inspiring. Nothing. He can't think of anything new to play, or maybe he can't even think to play the guitar at all. And that's super depressing if you're a musician and you're like, I lost my skill and talent and my ability to play guitar, and that's all you've ever known. But even if you just grow so old, you can't pick up the guitar to play it anymore. You physically can't. And I don't know if and when that will happen to Jimmy Page while he's still alive, but that's a sad thought to think of the entire time you still are alive if you can't do the thing that you love to do the most. So nothing that he comes out right and says about, enjoying your craft, or you've got to be practicing and doing this much, but really, if you love playing guitar, if you love being a musician, be compelled to be a musician and enjoy it and soak it up as much as possible, because we never know when is going to be our last day that we're going to play the piano or play drums or be in a band with our friends, or be able to celebrate time with our family by playing and singing a song together. Those moments where we feel alive when we're writing something new, or playing something for someone, or seeing someone light up when we play a song that they love, they don't last forever. So we should really try our best to make those moments happen as much as we can. That compulsion to get better at your craft, to be not necessarily the best, but to be the best version of you as a musician. Because if it's something we really enjoy, we're probably going to want to do it all the time. And I think we should. It's great to take those breaks, gain a different perspective. But overall, we should remember we're not going to get to do this forever. So we should enjoy it as much as we can while we can. And I think that's great advice from Jimmy Page, The Edge, and Jack White. But what do you guys think? What are your favorite little nuggets, little pieces of advice or information that you love from watching this documentary? I'll drop a link down below where you can watch it. There's also lots of great clips on YouTube that are not in the documentary that you can find. And you're going to find some great ones, because there's several clips about Jack writing Seven Nation Army and Jimmy Page writing Kashmir. There's a lot of great ones out there. So take a look, see what you can find, and let me know what you think about the documentary. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Peace.